Thank you, Principal Kelly House. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, faculty, staff, the Board of Education in the class of 2019. 50 years ago, there was a ceremony much like this at Dayton High School. It was my graduating class of 1969. Not only was it the largest graduating class ever, it was also known as the worst class ever. It happened to be my graduating class. I'm sure wise words were spoken, proud hugs were given, and graduation caps thrown. But I can't be sure because I wasn't there. I wasn't injured in the hospital. I had not been taken against my will. I was at my sister's home in Moorhead, Kentucky. Why? Because I was banned from participating in the graduation. Because I had broken the rules at our senior prom. In my youth and stupidity, I brought liquor to our senior prom. I want to offer my apologies now to the school, its administrators, my teachers, and my classmates. It has been a mistake that stayed with me, truly, in my entire life. I truly envy you, class of 2019, sitting there one last time with your friends, about to embark on another chapter of your life story. So how did a guy from Dayton, Kentucky, who didn't even get to go to graduation, end up on the stage in front of you? That's a story I'm here to tell you. It can be summed up by saying, where you start does not dictate where you're going. I grew up on Thornton Street. My grandma and grandpa lived across the street from us. My sisters and I spent many a day going over there to get grandma's fresh baked bread and sit on the porch with my grandpa. They loved us unconditionally. I played sports with my friends from early in the morning till darkness wouldn't allow us to play anymore. Summertime, it was baseball. Fall, it was football. And winter, it was basketball. Sports were all that we cared about. Not everything in my life was fun and games. Divorce, abuse, bullying, and thoughts of suicide were part of my story. My parents did not have a healthy relationship. They fought constantly. Many nights I would be in bed, hear the screaming and fighting, and wonder if one of them would be gone the next day. They divorced when I was in the 7th grade. Although I come from a family of divorce, I've been married now for 47 years. Again, where you start doesn't dictate where you're going. At a very young age, I was sexually molested by a neighborhood friend. Around the time of my parents' divorce in the 7th grade, more sexual abuse began at the hands of a different person, lasting another 5 years. In this day and age of the Me Too movement, there is a much more open arena to discuss abuse, but 50 years ago, there was no such forum. Those secrets would remain hidden. Today's statistics show that 1 in 4 women, 1 in 6 men have reported sexual abuse before the age of 18. Most experts believe it's 1 in 3 and 1 in 4. Each week, I lead a recovery group that helps people heal from abuse, addiction, and dysfunction. Where you start does not dictate where you're going. From what I read and see, bullying has taken on a new dimension in a different form, such as social media. Our bullies use physical violence. I was in constant fear of them. My fears were confirmed not long after high school when 2 of my classmates would kill people and then be incarcerated. Bullying, divorce, sexual abuse, and the other problems many teenage kids face led to several nights that I laid in bed thinking about suicide. I am so thankful to have 2 sisters that love me unconditionally and that committing suicide was not an option. Still, I was filled with thoughts of why am I here? Where could my life possibly go from here? I didn't yet know that where you start does not dictate where you're going. In terms of being a student, it's quite possible that I was a disappointment to my parents. That is an understatement. I was a C+ student. My sister Patty was valedictorian of the 1960 class, and my sister Ree was an honor student in the class of '63. Most people probably thought the smart gene missed me. Simply put, I liked other things better than school. In my junior year, I managed to land the best-looking, smartest girl I ever met, and that's my wife, Beverly. After that fateful graduation, our journey began, full of unexpected detours, setbacks, and triumphs. Bev and I headed off to Morehead State University. Yes, even a C student can go to college. And in our sophomore year, Bev's mom died of a heart attack. She dropped out of college to go back home while her sister Marilyn finished high school. We married our junior year of college, and we had our first child, Krista. We would survive on food stamps, a work shift, and ROTC money. My senior year, I made the dean's list. The C student that graduated 4 years later with a degree in industrial arts. Where you start does not dictate where you're going. Our first big detour was getting accepted into the Air Force to become a pilot. So much for being an industrial arts teacher. I'd never been in an airplane. My only thoughts of flying were as a child with a model airplane and watching planes take off and land at Lunken Airport. But as you know, your start does not dictate where you're going. My undergraduate pilot training was in Columbus, Mississippi. It was there I would face one of my toughest challenges ever. I competed against guys with degrees from Penn State, Rutgers, MIT, VMI, and the Air Force Academy. They were smart and they were athletically gifted. In pilot training, everyone was on equal footing, no matter where you were from, even Dayton, Kentucky. You are an officer in the Air Force first and foremost. Competing against these types of people will be part of your life. You can walk off this field and just take a seat behind them, or you can go out and prove you're every bit as good as them. There will always be people who think they are better than you because of where you came from. Rest assured, I can tell you with 100% certainty that they are not. Where you start does not dictate where you go. You are looking at living proof that a mediocre student can walk on the Great Wall of China, visit 5 continents, over 50 countries, see the Berlin Wall, hear the Pope speak from his window at the Vatican on Good Friday, see the Aurora Borealis, see the curvature of the Earth from 50,000 feet, go faster than the speed of sound, captain one of the largest airplanes in the world, the Boeing 747, be an instructor pilot for both the Air Force and United Airlines, and finally evacuate 150 people out of Tehran, Iran on the last military flight into and out of that country. If you would have told my teachers and my fellow classmates this 50 years ago, I believe their responses would have been, "Are you kidding me?" That's the cleaned up version of that. Remember, where you start does not dictate where you go. 50 years ago at my sister's home, I couldn't help believe that my story was over. In reality, my canvas was blank. It was just the beginning, just as yours is now. Start filling your canvas with great things. Now is your time to go hypersonic, fly into space, create works of art, protest the things that you believe are wrong, to help others in your own community and around the world, to build relationships that will last a lifetime, and above all, outwork everyone around you, no matter what your job or what your profession that you choose. Past abuse, past bullying, past behavior is left behind that line. As you cross that line, a fresh canvas awaits you, and a new chapter of your life begins. There are 3 quotes I would like to leave you with. First, from Mr. Thomas Hood, my high school gym teacher and health teacher. Use your head for something other than a hat rack. He used to say that to me quite often. The Honorable Judge Foley, Judge Charles Foley, a district judge in the state of Virginia, when asked about why the biggest reason why people come before him in court, he said, it's pretty much about being stupid in public. Don't be stupid in public. I am I can tell you that, Bill. And finally, the third one is from Luke 6:31 from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. Do unto others as you would have them do to you. Good luck, and may God bless you in the ways you can't even imagine.
All right, Tom, if you would please step back up to the podium to the left side here. We have something prepared especially for you tonight. Chairman of the board, Roseanne Sharon, is going to help in conferring upon you your diploma. Certifies that Thomas Jacob Rath has completed the course of study prescribed for graduation from this high school and is hereby awarded this diploma.